Hi everybody, Giselle Grenier here from ArtPlace.ca. For today's workshop, I'm going to work on a visual prompt, and I'm going to focus on the color green. Now, it's been a while since I've done a video. We got a new puppy a month ago, and she's 8 months old, from the SPCA rescue. Amazing dog, Mia. So this is the first video I've done since having her. So I hope that right now she's chewing on a deer antler, and hopefully she's going to stay quiet. All right. So today I'm going to work on a gel plate. So when working on a gel plate, what I like to do is keep my colors transparent, because then I can layer them. Now, I've got a palette already made up, and what I have is I have little containers of my colors, and then what I do, let me just see if I can reach one. Okay, and these are the Traditions colors. And what I have with these is I have two sets. I have one set that I've mixed with extender blending medium, and that takes about a week or two to prepare, because then they turn out like oils. I also have another set which I use specifically with watercolor medium, and that's what I'm using today. I mix the watercolor medium with the paint about half and half, and then it makes the paint where I can reuse it again. If you don't have watercolor medium, don't fret, it's okay. Just add a little bit of water, or even the extender is better to add to the paint, just to make it more transparent. So what I thought I'd try, I'm going to call out the colors, but to save time, I've already mixed up the colors, and I'll show you a couple of other mixes. Green is not one of my favorite colors, so I don't have a heck of a lot of mixed greens, but I have pure greens, which I then mix up with other colors. So phthalo green on the blue side is one major one. Mega powerful. This is a color, anything phthalo I will get on my hands. This is very powerful. You never use this straight though, you always mix it with something else. So I've got phthalo green, I've got phthalo blue, Prussian blue. Okay, wish that I could mix with yellows, different yellows and oranges to get different types of greens. So phthalo blue, Prussian blue. And then I have a dioxazine purple, which I'm going to show you, but mixing it with the green just to get a nice dark. I have vermilion for an orange, and I have Hansa yellow light and yellow oxide. Now, yellow oxide is opaque, so I had to add a little bit of extra water with this. Now everything's kind of evaporated, so I'm going to add a bit more water to that, or extender as I go. Okay, so yellow oxide is opaque, so I have to be careful with this one. I also have the Dazzling Metallics Old World Patina, which is a metallic, pretty green. And I also have Glamour Dust. This is Limelight. I love the Glamour Dust. They're really, I'm not a glitter person, but this is so subtle. I love it. And then, let's see, I've got my 300-pound, this is mixed media paper. I tore it into a size 4x6, which is a nice size for a visual prompt. Also, you can use it as a postcard. I have some stencils. You know, I'm a butterfly addict, so of course I have to put butterflies in. So I've got my well-used vintage butterfly, and I've got some gloss enamel stick-on stencils, and I've got the butterfly here as well. And then this one is Jaipur Damask accent. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. And then I've got the peaceful words, and I'm going to use the word imagine, because I'm figuring the color green, imagine a world that is still full of green trees. And of course I'm going to add a little bling to it. So I've got my little flower here, which is on the green side, and then I've got a pearl, which is a green. I'm going to add that to the center, and I'll glue that with the bead and glitter glue. What else do we have? I've got my brayer, so I can roll on my gel plate. I've got this really cool stamp. I attended a garage sale at it's not really a scrapbook store. She does a lot more than that, maybe paper crafts or whatever. But I got like, I don't know, $200 to $300 worth of supplies for, I don't know, 60 bucks. So this was a stamp. Really, really cool shapes. I got this, I think, for $1. And never used. Okay, so this is really cool. So I'm going to put that in. All right, I'm also working on a Ranger no stick mat. Very important, especially when you're working with a gel plate because it does get kind of messy. I've got my bucket of water. Camera is not focusing. And brushes. Oh, you know what? I should have had that ready for you. So let's pick some really funky brushes. This is not planned. When it comes to the brushes, where did that brush go? There we go. Okay. So I'm going to use a fan, and I'm going to use this fabulous fine point liner. Then I'm going to use a round brush. And I probably should use a flat. Let me use a flat. There we go. Okay. Everything will be at the end of the video. Focus, camera, focus. Everything will be at the end of the video because I like to change up my supplies as I go. The idea for monoprinting, which is basically when you prepare your plate, you make your print, and usually that's it. Okay, but I also like to make ghost prints. So for that reason, what I'm going to do is, I can't reach. I have a whole bunch of other cards that I've prepared, which I will then go over this again to make ghost prints, and then these I can use for something else. I don't like to waste anything. So my idea, what I'm going to be doing is I'll take the paint and then I'll roll it here and with my brayer and then put it on. If you're using DecoArt Americana paints are in tubes like this. If you've got those paints, they're really good because you could just squeeze it right onto here. And I may end up having to get some of those paints because for my mixed media stuff and my journaling and that, it's not really necessary to use the Traditions paints. These are what I use for my pet portraits, my fine art. I use these. But I'm so used to the pigments that I carried into my journaling and mixed media art. Nothing wrong with that though. Okay, so I'm going to grab some water. And the first thing I'm going to do is a really, really light green as my base. Okay, so if I take a little bit of yellow, I can actually even paint the plate. Oh, and see all these dots in here? I'm hoping that some of these will actually show through. I'm kind of splattering this on, and then I'm going to take a little bit. Now this is what I use with phthalo green and a little bit of yellow. If you have pre-mixed greens, that will be so much better for you. Okay, I'm just picking up a bunch of different things. Now my plate seems to be a little bit oily. And then I'm going to take some Limelight. And I'm just going to put a little bit, this will just give it a little bit of glimmer and shine. And I'll take my brayer and I'll roll this. Okay. And I have a glass plate here that I'll put that on. And what I can do, because it's light, I can basically take my butterfly and put it in there to get my prompt started. So if I put my butterfly right in here, okay, and I just roll that like that. Really want to push that in there hard. And what it's going to do is it's going to lift up. I'm showing you a technique first. And if I lift this up, what it's done is it's removed a lot of the paint that this outside of the stencil was touching, okay? And it left the impression of the butterfly, okay? So that's one way of doing your print. The other way of doing your print, if you have this rolled over, okay, and you put your piece on top, you leave that the way it is. If you then take your card and put it on top of there, all you're going to get is the actual inside. So you're only going to get the stencil part. If you take the stencil and lift it up, you're going to be able to get a very light impression of what's behind. Okay? So that's just two ways of doing it. It's a reverse and a positive, or a negative and a positive. See? Isn't that cool? And then what I can do is, as I lift it up, okay, then I'll take this and I'll go back over. This is called the ghost print. The ghost print will be much lighter. Then you can choose which one you want to, excuse me, which one you want to use. Okay, so I'll put that aside. I can then take this as well, and I can go right into this piece here. Just do a light press on that. Lift that up. So you get all these different patterns. Okay, I can take my brayer and I can roll again. Now I don't have a heck of a lot left. What I can do is I can take my stamp. When we do monoprints, we're not interested in anything to be realistic, because it's all about shape. So you can see where the stamp was. I lifted it up, and so it removed the paint. So here's your negative. Okay, I think that should make sense to you guys. Okay, so let me get my brush. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go just with yellow. My paints are getting a little, they're getting a little dry. With the watercolor medium, you do have to reconstitute the paint because the water evaporates. And I'll take that. Oh, you know what I could have done? I could have used the Glamour Dust Yellow. Now what I want to do is I want to get color all around here. So as I roll this yellow on there, I can then take my fan brush and I can make some really neat lines. Like so. Put that in there. Lift that up. And I get some really, really interesting lines. So now I have now something where I can do a reverse print. There isn't a heck of a lot left on that. But let's see. I'll use the back of the card. Let's see what we get. It shouldn't be too much. Oh, it's not too bad. Green seems to be awful on video. Now, let's take oh, phthalo green. Oh my god, phthalo green. A little bit of vermilion. This will make mud. Okay? Don't worry about what you're going to get. A little bit of a darker green. This is the phthalo green. No, this is the phthalo blue mixed with yellow oxide. Okay, put that back in there. And then I can take, see, this is going to be kind of small. These are a little bit small. Peel, peel, peel. I don't know if you guys can hear Mia chomping on her deer antler. Now these stencils are not made for this, but I like using whatever I can. So what I want is I want the tabs to show. So I'm not going to peel it off, but I'm going to go like this. So this will come up now with the butterflies on this side. And I didn't roll it because I wanted the marks of the paintbrush. Oh, it didn't quite come through all the way. Wow, that's all I can say is interesting. All I can say is interesting. Let's try this again. I didn't quite press hard enough. The rolling will also distribute the paint a lot better. Right? Not rolling it, you've got globs, which is what you have here, but that doesn't bother me. See? You will never be able to do a background like this, like just by using a brush. So now what I can do is I can take this, I can then go to another card. Let me just put that down here, and put that down here, and I'll just take a, oh, I have all these napkins accumulated, so I'll just push. So what we're going to get is we're going to get the outline now of the butterfly. Okay, there we go on that one. And then when I lift this up, I'll have that. Oh, that's neat. So you see why I have all these extra cards handy. So what's next? Let me roll this a bit more. All right, what I want to do is I want to pick up some yellow and a bit of, I'm gonna have to get out of the tube, yellow and phthalo blue. Actually, whoops, no, that was Prussian blue. Prussian blue. So I'll show you this way that you can make the mix. So you can do this. Okay, just squirt it on there. And I don't want to over blend it because I want to see some of those colors. A little bit too much paint, but that's okay. Let's see what we get. I'm going to get a reverse print done first. What I want is a paper towel with texture on it. This is a really cool thing, so you don't need to buy expensive things. So I've got this nice paper towel, and it's the size of the postcard. So if I take that and I press that down, see how some of the paint is going through? Lift that up. It leaves that pattern. I will keep this because I can collage this on something else. And then I can take my card and then I can lay it this way. Okay, I'll take another paper towel just because this is still a little bit wet. Oh, Mia came and laid down right by my feet. Harley knew when I was doing my videos, he was just so quiet. Other than shaking, we had to shake a little bit. His collar would, his bling would go ding-a-ling, but Mia doesn't know yet. Well, she's being good. Wow. I love this. And I'd never be able to replicate this on my own just using a brush and paint. There's no way. I could probably get a nice print here as well. Let's see, what else can I use? Maybe get a fresh piece. On our journaling group, creativeartjournaling.com, I set up a lot of activities for the people, and one of the things we're doing is called the Postcard Travel Journal. And what we've done is for everybody is to basically make cards like this. It's basically just to take a 4x6 card, and whether you paint, collage, draw, or whatever, the card is to be sent as is, not in an envelope, of places that you've been throughout the summer, staycations, you know, local attractions that you visited, the zoo, places you'd like to go, that type of thing. So these are great activities for that. Oh, look at that, it's subtle. That's really pretty. Okay, so let me bring some more of this down. I love the intensity of that color. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to repeat that again with this one. Okay. Much lighter. And I'm going to do the back. Now this is still wet, this paint here. So I think I'll have to use another paper towel. Just peel that off. Look at that. So that makes for a nice back of the card. Now if you're making postcards, you should leave the back white. Okay, so this would be okay for a postcard, where the line goes in the middle and you have your address and the stamp and then your note. That's okay. This might be a little bit dark. So I've got quite a few here going. Now, the other thing, oh, to do the lettering, let me do the birdie. Because the lettering has to be done differently because it has to be done backwards. See this here? I'm going to put the stencil right on top of here. Then I'm going to take my roller. Actually, yeah. I'm going to take my roller. I'm going to go right in here. What I love about the stick-ons, the gloss enamel stencils, they have the little tabs on them, make it easy to pick up, and I like that showing in my piece. Now I am going to roll this one out a little bit nicer. Should have got my bigger brayer so I don't see lines. Okay, so we see that, and now I'm going to get another paper towel. You don't want to leave the paper towel in there so long that you actually remove all the paint. All you're doing is putting an impression. Okay. And let's get, I wonder if it'll work on this one. Let's do this one here. And I'm going to line this up so I want to see the tabs. Go. And if you're, when you're doing monoprinting, if you are under the impression that you're going to get perfect results every single time, wipe that out of your head. It is the most dynamic piece of art that you can do because you never know what's going to happen. Not quite, because the paint is starting to dry. So let's see, if I just put a little bit of water on it and roll it a little bit more and see if I can pick up a little bit more paint. And let's pick up some orange. This is going to be a color. We'll try this again. I think I left it down there just a little too long. Let's try another card. There we go. Look at that. Oh, how awesome is that? Wowee. Now, I'm going to take this up. Oh, let's try this. If I roll and then take this up, I'm left with that. And then I can take this one and press really hard. Now, with the mixtures that I made with the watercolor medium and the paint, this does dry really fast, okay? But if you add extender to it, this will take a lot longer to dry, so you may need to leave a bit more time in between the prints. But you don't want to waste the paint on your plate, so this is why I have extra cards. Okay? Look at that. Yay! Okay, so let's say what we have here, it's alright, but let's say I'm going to add a little bit of dioxazine purple to this. And I'll pick up a little bit more phthalo green. We don't need to use black. You can get a really dark. I'm going to pick up some of that other green. You can get a really dark by taking, I usually like using alizarin crimson and phthalo green to get the darkest dark. But let's see what happens with purple. And roll. Because now what I want to do, I want to show you how to actually stencil wording on here. You can't do it this way. It's going to be backwards. You have to do it this way. So I'll put the whole thing down. Okay. Now, this, I'm not going to be able just to get the one word, unless what I do is I actually mask out everything else. If I mask it out, this will just go through, but then all I'm doing is getting lettering on paper towel, which might not be such a bad thing. Let's see what happens. Okay, so see what I'm doing? And let's take, oh, we'll take this one. Oh, I lost a little bit of the eye. Here. Awesome. Now if I have, now this will be a ghost print, there'll be very little paint, so let's see what happens if I just go again. Very, very subtle. But look at the color, look how dark it is. Isn't that neat? So now, let's see what I get with this, because I can collage this onto cardstock as well. Not much. We didn't get much out of that because the paint is drying. You can still use that. That looks pretty cool. Let's just go over this. And let's do another one. And, oh, I did that wrong. Can't do it that way. Can't do it that way because I'm going to get a block of text. Actually, that doesn't look too bad. That's not so bad. Let's see what we get with this one. Just to show you, it is going to be backwards. I just want to show you. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, that's right, because it's the other way around. That neat? Then if you really want to make a funky card, okay, so we'll turn it this way. So it'll just be text on it. See? Oh, not much left here. So I only was able to get to this. Now, with you can put these in your sink with dish soap and stuff like that. I just like to clean mine with a baby wipe. You can also use oils on these. This is the actual jelly plate. And you can make your own with Knox gelatin. See how the paint's dried on that? That's no big deal because you can just, whoops, clean it with a paper towel. See? Let's see what we can get with this one here now. Let's do one final light thing. I'm not quite sure what card I'm going to use. Just want to get a background color on that. Just want to get something on there. And this way. Where before I said, oh, you can't do it that way because you're going to get text on the paper, but let's see what happens. I don't know if I'm going to have enough paint there. Let's take it on this one. Very transparent. And we'll lift that up. And I'll take another card. Do I have another card that doesn't have anything printed on it? Nope. Very quickly. And this is where the extender or the watercolor medium comes in handy. The watercolor medium, you can just add a bit more water to it and it'll reconstitute it, but the extender is what it's going to leave the drying time open. This is one thing you don't want to have paint that dries so fast when you're doing this. Okay, so I'm running out of kitchen wipes. I'm just going to wipe this edge off just so I can get it at least clean. So it just wipes clean. But if you find that, if you're using the actual jelly plate, if you find that it gets oily, just put it in the sink with dish soap. I do make monoprints with oil paints on this. It's amazing. Okay, so it's just a nice thick plate. There are recipes on the internet that you can make your own. And there is one, my friend Mary shared a recipe with me to make one using glycerin. I'm going to try that one when I get some stuff at the store. I can't wait to see how that works. Alright, so now look at all the cards we made. Look at all the cards we made. Wow. We made a ton of them. I can put the extra stock away. This one, I really wouldn't classify this as a card because there isn't a lot on there. Okay, so I'll put that one away. But we have one. Same with this one. It's got a little bit. I wouldn't classify that as a finished card. Two. I would just keep going and going and going. I love that one. So we have that. This, that. And this one, I think. This one's my favorite. So we got 5. Okay, so I have to pick the one that I'm actually going to use for what I want to do. Okay, well I know now I just want to take the flower. And what do I want to do with the flower? Well, first of all, let's glue the thing on first. And this is just a little flower cutout. Even though it's sticky, this is plugged up a bit. I always glue them. Oh, this is a new bottle. Oh, where's my... I was taught it at a convention, and I think I may have left it there. And I have also microscopic little tweezers. And just to pick up the excess, I squeeze a little bit too much glue there. There we go. And we'll just get a little flower there. And it's about just picking whichever flower I want to, or picking whichever card I want to use. So I'm thinking I want the word imagine on there. So let's put these. So I could choose one of these, and I figured this is a little bit stronger. That's kind of pretty there. Oops. So I can actually use this as well as the glue. Now I'm hitting this to get the glue back down into the chamber. So with this now, this little piece being done with the green, I also want to add a little extra something. I didn't quite see the butterfly. Excuse me. Right here. With the patina. Now I didn't use my long brush. So when I do this, I don't plan. So I'm just going to get this brush. I'm just going to stencil this again, just used with green. The Bedazzling Metallics is transparent. This particular one is metallic glaze. Okay. There we go. Voila. And we're finished. Now this paint here, I would have actually just gone and done something with the other cards so I don't waste the paint. But I'm almost out of time on my video, so there we go. So there's a journal prompt card. So with this, I would give this to somebody and they would create a piece of art. Now when I say journal prompt card, that's a habit I call it. It's a visual prompt. And you give this to somebody, and then somebody looks at it and they create a piece of art based on what they see. You're not telling them what to do. Okay, I know myself, I'm creating it all with green, and my idea is thinking, can you imagine a world that has still a lot of trees? That may not be how somebody else interprets it, and the whole idea is you don't tell them what you had in mind. You just give them this, and then they create their piece of art based on this visual prompt. Okay, so you have the word imagine, you have a butterfly metallics, you have a flower, lots of greens, different types of greens, and it looks like there's a lot of, looks like a foliage and leaves. And then they take it from there and they create their piece of art based on that. So that's it. So I got all these ones, and I'll build extra ones on these. This one's kind of cool too. The stencil of Imagine would look nice on this as well. But these, I mean, the paper towel ones, I love the paper towel ones. They're really cool. And do you know how expensive a stencil would be to do this? Didn't cost a dime. And then we have these ones. These ones still need a bit of work. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got 5, and then if you count the back, 5, 6, 7. Not really. And 8. 8 pieces. 9 if you're going to use that. I'm going to do some writing on the back. So you got 9 workable surfaces on this. So it gives you a wide variety. Lots of things that you can do with these. So that's it. So create them as postcards, or better yet, as visual prompts, because that's the best thing, is to give a gift of art. And now this one here, I would actually I would put this in an envelope and mail it. But if you were like, something like this can be given just the way it is, and then you could put you would have to probably put a label of the person's mailing address and a stamp. You can probably just send that. You can send that in the post, just in regular post. Now, if you don't have access to large sheets of paper, Strathmore has these amazing watercolor postcards. Okay, they're 4 by 6 in a pad. But you know what's the really neat thing? They're already labeled for you on the back. That is amazing, and they have a nice cut edge. I tore mine because I wanted my edges torn, but I like that look. So there we go. So you're all set. So I hope that you enjoyed this, and feel free to visit my blog at ArtPlace.ca, or even our journaling group, creativeartjournaling.com, and we'd love for you to participate in a lot of our group activities and swaps and stuff like that. Totally free, doesn't cost a thing to participate, and we can share all of our art. So in closing, stay inspired.